Hello and welcome to Daily Dose of Reddit. You're here and you won't regret it. I'm your host, Captain Zach. You're coming here and never looking back. That's right. Welcome. Today's subreddit r/EntitledPeople. Alright, this story's called Dad Thinks He's Entitled to Tell You When to Stop Eating. My dad has severe control issues around food. He must always eat more or have a bigger portion than everyone else. Sometimes he takes smaller portions to be self-righteous, but then goes and eats a second meal or course that no one else is allowed to eat. He also tried to say when you should stop eating, which always has to be before him, even if he's already eaten and you haven't. There is nothing worse than when you've skipped lunch and you found out that dad had a big afternoon snack, because that means dinner is going to suck ass. His controlling behavior has given me food issues where I hoard food and binge because I'm scared he's gonna take my food away. I'm also overweight and fat. I've recently moved out, and one of the big perks is I have a healthier relationship with food. I binge less and eat less in general, but I'm mostly not consumed by thoughts of food 24/7 like I used to be. This Christmas was actually the first Christmas I didn't binge chocolate before and after dinner. Hey, I ate reasonable amounts, but it's still Christmas. Everyone except Dad was telling me how they think I've lost weight. Yay! I left feeling good about myself. Round of applause, please! Enter my dad. He called at my home today to fix my sink. As he was leaving, he sat me down and went through all the food I ate at Christmas and told me how much less of each item I should have eaten. I tell him to stop, as him controlling my food will trigger me for a binging episode. He continues. I explain again. He tells me binging is only hurting me. I tell him I know, but he needs to stop. I also mention how freaking creepy it is for him to watch me eat and count what I eat during Christmas. He tells me that's his right as my father, and anytime we have meals together, he's going to be watching and counting. Other things he has done are: 1. Looked through my trash to see what I'm eating in my own home that he does not live in. 2. Question what I've eaten every day. 3. Offered to order my groceries online for me so I don't have to go to shops during Brovid. He then edited my shopping list to meet his standards. However, I am slowly gaining more control over food in my life, and I feel so free. Edit. Thanks, guys. I was just ranting, but don't worry, I know this behavior is not normal and could be in the abuse column. I'm setting boundaries and going low contact, but I'm not ready to go no contact. Edit 2. I'm so unbelievably overwhelmed and thankful for all of your comments, awards, and good wishes. I just posted this as, "Isn't he so ridiculous?" post. While I know this behavior is abusive, he's still a good dad in other ways, and he's pretty screwed up from his own childhood. I'm aware that at some point I may have to go no contact, and that will be an extremely painful process. I'm currently following the timeline of a friend in a similar situation. Going low contact first is what I need to do. I understand why you guys are downvoting some of my comments about how he's my dad and I don't want to go no contact, but please understand that I'm just not ready yet. I'm not going to go into all the reasons, but a big one is my mom. Yes, she should have done a better job of protecting me, but she's a victim here too, and she's stuck. She won't leave him because she made vows before God. Mom has a major heart operation coming up, and I don't want to add stress to her to risk her not coming through it. After the operation, it will be a different story. I also do genuinely love my dad. Definitely have some Stockholm syndrome. Another reason is that dad has taken so much from me and damaged me in ways that I may not be fully aware of. If I go no contact, I'm going to lose so many things that are so important to me. I'm not going to give him that power. I'm not going to let him play the victim of an ungrateful child. When dad does or says these things now, it has no effect on me because I'm out and I know it's ridiculous. I'm no longer being brainwashed into thinking it's normal. He genuinely has no power here anymore. By going no contact, I'll be giving him some power, but I'm also so scared of being alone. I am religious years, and in the past, I've definitely had times where making a big move felt wrong, and times where I felt that nudge telling me to jump ship. Following that nudge has never led me wrong. I'm feeling that nudge about low contact in therapy. Yay, therapy again. Pretty sure I have an eating disorder. Fun. I'm not feeling that nudge about no contact yet, but I feel that it's coming. Well, OP, I wish you the best in your health and your safety, and good on you, man. You freaking did it. You got out. You're taking control. You're taking control. Badass. This story's called Update on My Dad Thinking He Can Control My Eating. What? So I've gone low contact. My parents have been hounding me to see them since. I've made a decision to not eat with my family anymore. I've told my mom this and she sort of gets it but thinks it will blow over. So my decision meant that I'm spending New Year's alone. Due to Brovid, my family were my only option. And all my friends already have plans for Zoom things, so I'm drinking champagne by myself, trying to tell myself I made the right choice. Thank you all for your messages. It's amazing how much you internalize and tell yourself is normal. I don't like being a victim. I want to be that kick-ass chick in high heel boots that no one messes with. Yes! But I'm not. No. I'm someone who is so broken and worn down. I'm just so mad that I didn't get the unconditional love from my dad that I should have. I've spent my life trying to please him to get some affection. You guys being so horrified by my dad and his actions really made me realize that it's not like my dad's a good dad who is a bit messed up. He has fundamentally failed as a father. Whoa. I've been told for so long that I'm not a capable adult, that I will fail at everything I try. I've been so scared to try things by myself in case I prove them right by failing, but no more. I'm going to be that ass-kicking chick, and I'm going to conquer all the hurdles in front of me. Cobra Kai never dies. Thank you guys for your what actual reactions. It really woke me up. Have a great new year, guys. Hope it's a joyful one for you all. Sorry for the typos. Champagne and mobiles don't mix. Sorry, one of them's capital. So, London gave us surprise fireworks, and since fireworks, and especially the London New Year's Eve fireworks are my favorite thing in the world, it's like glitter, but in the sky, my mood has drastically improved. Goodbye, 2020. Hello, 2021. The year of nice surprises. Very nice. Yes, I am totally digging your kick-ass badass attitude. It's making my blood boil with the rage. Not rage, energy. I'm fired up. Got the blood of Hades boiling in me. Might just be because of the bath salts. Then again, I heard Epsom salts are supposed to be relaxing, so. You thought. No, drugs are bad. Most of them are. Some of them. Okay, a lot of drugs are bad. Tylenol has its uses. Alright, this story is called... I need to think of a creative... Oh, baseball pitchy bridesmaid meets an unmovable force. My mother. I know, baseball pitcher, I've used it before, but okay, who cares? A conversation with fellow crafters. Minecrafters? Is that... Crafters reminded me of this story, so I figured I'd share. Some quick background. My baby brother was born terminally ill, and the long hospital stays and expensive meds kicked in around 6 months old. To cope with the huge medical bills, Mom worked some odd jobs over the years, including making custom wedding and bridesmaids gowns. Yikes. My mom had a few die-hard rules. Number 1, she did all of your measurements. I heard the lecture of vanity fibbing only results in a poorly fitting dress more times than I can count. Number 2, all final fittings must be completed at least 3 weeks before the wedding. That way, if Dewey had an emergency hospital stay, she'd have to arrange for someone to sit with him while she went home to finish a job. He was nonverbal and needed a constant companion. This particular bride wanted all of her bridesmaids in pastel organza dresses. Organza is a gauzy fabric. The base dresses were white, covered with these colors. Unfortunately, the bride had more bridesmaids than pastel shades the fabric came in, meaning one lucky bridesmaid wore tan. The bride refused refused to start a fight by assigning colors, so it was first come, first served. When you came for measurements, you got to pick from the remaining colors. One bridesmaid lived 3 hours away and flat out refused to come to town to be measured. She insisted that telling us she was a size 8 was good enough. Bridal sizes are very different and didn't cleanly convert, so that meant nothing. Mom finally reached the compromise that a local seamstress could measure her and send in the measurements. 1 month before this wedding, Dewey was admitted into the ICU to be placed on a ventilator. Mom now had to find coverage enough to get 8 dresses finished off in the next 2 weeks or so. She pulled it off thanks to amazing friends, but it was tight. Dad was busy working overtime to pay bills and dealing with us and other 2 kids. Well, this complainy bridesmaid, Big Bertha from now on, still refused to have a final fitting more than 2 days before the wedding. She didn't want to waste a trip just because my mom was a horrible seamstress who didn't understand proper sizing. I was cleaning up seed pearls during that lovely conversation. My mom begged a friend to sit with Dewey for an entire day so she could do the fitting and adjustments all at once. Big Bertha was 2 hours late. When she arrived, she saw the hideous tan dress and began literally screaming about how it wasn't fair and my mom must have picked that color. She demanded another bridesmaid return their dress and both dresses get swapped colors. It would have been 20 plus hours of work, so Mom laughed and told her that was a big no. The bride arrived and told her friend that color was the only option left and she was sorry, but it was that or drop out of the wedding and pay for the dress anyway. Big Bertha finally agreed to put it on. Yeah, she'd lied about her size. When the zipper didn't go all the way up, Mom whipped out the measuring tape only to discover this woman had shaved 1 to 2 inches off of every measurement except height. Her defense was that she wasn't going to let a jealous seamstress lie about her, so she fixed the numbers before passing them on. By this point, my mom was all but breathing fire. Her son's life hung in the balance, and this lunatic was making her life hell. My mom demanded double for the dress because she was gonna have to add strips to the base white dress to make it big enough, then make a whole new overdress from organza, whatever the Helanza. It was doubling the time and adding substantially to fabric costs. Big Bertha fought over it, and my mom finally told her, "Fine, pay me the agreed upon amount and take your dress as is." Now, the bride herself was bullying Big Bertha into just paying up. She finally agreed to it, and my mom told the bride to get Big Bertha out of her house. They could come back in 5 hours to get the dress. Thankfully, the redone dress was a perfect fit. Big Bertha paid the remaining balance and left after that. The day my brother died, my mom refused to ever make another wedding dress. She's only made one in the 21 years since as a favor to the friend who spent that ill-fated day with Dewey in the ICU while Mom fought with Big Bertha. Oh, that was sad. Alright, this story's called My Cousin Sued Her Own Sister. My great-grand-aunt died of Brovid in the beginning of 2020. Stop with the laws! It's been a huge blow for the entire family, especially her 2 daughters. The drama between them came to a head when her will was read out. She left both of her daughters 1.5 acres each of land that she owned out in Louisiana. But she left her house to her oldest daughter. That house is a family staple. It was the house my great-grandaunt lived in when she moved from Louisiana to Washington to be with someone she loved. It was where we celebrated Christmas Eve and Thanksgiving. It made sense that the oldest daughter got the house since she was already living there to begin with. Not to mention the younger daughter already had a house, one where she just renovated the basement and put a brand new deck out in front. She didn't need the house at all, but my cousin didn't see it that way. So she felt the need to sue her older sister for for the rights to the house. She even got her daughter and her niece to turn against her own sister. Her reasons for wanting the house are pretty selfish in my opinion. Her main take for wanting the house was so that she could rent it out to other people. Not even a week before my great-grandaunt died, she said to her face that making money off the house was going to be her plan. Everyone in my family was so pissed to the point where they all announced that they weren't coming to her wedding, and the ones that were coming would be sitting on the groom's side. Her fiance was actually a nice guy. You may think that might be a little harsh, but my cousin honestly deserved it. For someone to say that they would claim their mother's house when she dies to her face is nasty. Because of all the backlash she was getting, she ended up dropping the lawsuit and apologizing to her sister. On top of that, the wedding was canceled. I could talk about this for hours because the situation goes in deeper and deeper. I try to keep it as brief as possible. I just hope my family gets better after all that has happened. Me too, man. That's rough. I hate, like, when a death in a family leads to people scrambling so that they can fight over who gets what. It's disgusting, man. Like, at least allow a freaking grace period. It's just distasteful. You just see this person, his loss of life, as just a bunch of possessions, man. Like, I can understand if it was like sentimental stuff, like, oh, I want these pictures and these albums and all that stuff, because I understand that. Obviously, memories are important, and, you know, things that bring up memories to you are equally important. But gosh. Anyway, OP, I hope everything gets better, and if you want to share more about what's going on, dooski my dudeski. Alright, this story's called Demands My Skills for Free. So I got a bobbin lace starter kit and extra bobbins for Christmas. My grandmother made bobbin lace and I wanted to try too. So I spent 5 hours making a little bookmark. Hey, now bobbin lace is becoming a lost art. Less people are making it and fewer are wanting to learn it, so it's also a valued artisan craft. I should have listened to my gut. I don't know what bobbin lace is, by the way. I showed a picture of the lace to a coworker who also crafts. They knit, but they would appreciate the art. The picture shows that it's clearly a piece of beginner's work.
Oh, cool. So you can make me one now too, right?
Not really. I'm doing this just to learn and make some stuff for myself. I'll most likely never take commission for lace. It took me 5 hours to do this. The bookmark was 4 inches long. Tiny, but mighty.
But you can just make me the same one. Surely you won't miss one piece of lace.
I grit my teeth, mildly annoyed. People tended to push for my other craft too. No, and besides, I doubt you want to pay my hourly rate for custom crafting. I charge 10 an hour for crafts larger than gloves or scarves. So sewing, quilting, knitting, and crocheting. Tatting and baking is 10 an hour, no exceptions, unless I'm doing it for fun or my immediate family.
Wait, pay you? Why would I pay you for a tiny piece of lace?
Because it takes hours to make, so I charge for work I have to do versus work I want to do.
Well, you'll never sell your lace that way.
That's the point. She huffed as I walked off. I was more than a little annoyed that yet another person wants my skills for free. Oh my god. That would have gotten me heated too. I probably would have just like done something crazy like, I don't know, gone to Walgreens and buy some ice cream. Maybe get some Dr. Pepper too. I'm so bad. Alright, and also let me close off by saying, hope you guys had a fantastic year, despite the sadness that we just read here today in this episode. But regardless, I want everyone to have a fantastic year and love someone and, like, you know, fall in love or something like that and be happy and just all that jazz. And if you don't, you owe me something. But don't worry about it right now. We'll work something out. I'm gonna have so many mittens. Or I might just ask you for your teacher's numbers. Obviously, so we can trade teaching techniques, because what I do here is I teach you guys. I give you knowledge. Fairly useless knowledge, but hey, what's high school for? I'm kidding. High school is important. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to never miss an episode.